So, you finally moved into your house, Buck? Yeah, I did. Wait, really? Oh, good for you. What finally did the trick? I slept with Tommy. You did what? Oh yeah, I did hear about that. You knew? He told Maddie. Obviously, I'm gonna find out. And you didn't tell me? Sorry. Okay, so talk about me like I'm not here. Right? Sorry, but... Oh god, please tell me Tommy's not moving in with you. No. No. He said some things and, well, realized that I was using him as a distraction, so... Maddie suggested that I learn how to be okay alone, and, so I decided to set up. Because if I'm not in my own place, how am I gonna do that? What happened after you slept with him? The weirdest thing. Wait, there's more? Maddie told you that I slept with Tommy, but not what he said to me? No. What did he say to you? Well, he said that he viewed Eddie as competition. Competition. Yeah, that's why he didn't want to move in. That's why he thought I was gonna break his heart. He thinks I'm in love with Eddie. He said that to you? Yeah. I mean, crazy, right? He's my best friend, and he's straight. Like... Why are you guys looking at me like that? Well... Well, what? I mean, come on, Buck. What? I don't know why you guys are looking at me like that. I mean, Eddie and I have been friends for, like, 7 years now. We're just best friends. We're just really close. Like, I'm not in love with him. Buck, Chimney and I have been best friends for over 20 years. Okay. That's not how best friends act, Buck. Well, it's how we act. And he's straight, and in El Paso with his son anyway. So, you can have feelings for someone if they're straight. In fact, it's kind of a rite of passage to fall in love with your straight best friend. Well, I've already passed my way into gay sex on more than one occasion, so... Yeah, getting defensive isn't helping your case here, Buck. What is your guys' deal? I mean, if you thought that I was in love with Eddie this whole time, why didn't you say anything before he left me behind? Buck, we thought you knew. Oh my god.
I can't be wrong to be, can't be wrong to be craving you. I can't be wrong to be, can't be wrong to be craving. I can't be wrong to be.
Listen, after seeing Buck be flirty for the first time in a minute, like flirty and like in a seductive way, you know, me. I didn't like that it had to be with Tommy for us to see it again. However, what we've learned is he hasn't lost his game. And I hope this means more than anything is that we actually get some Buck and Eddie flirting. I want his actual, like, good flirting with Eddie, but I also want him to do dumbass pickup lines. Like, I've made the video before where they're literally at work and, and Buck says, "Is it hot in here or is it just you?" And Eddie's like, "Buck, the house is on fire." No, I don't want him begging if you're doing this. You gotta pull all the stops. Let them be cute and sweet and flirty. But also let him dust off those skills from when he was a playboy of flustering Eddie. I am fucking begging. Because we know that Eddie actually cannot flirt to save his life. And I am so ready for him to be so flustered over Buck. Because, come on. Him saying that I have a new place, do you want to see it? That was crazy. We have not seen Buck try to pick someone up since, like, season 1. And in his relationships, that hasn't really happened. If we get buddy canon, I need it. Flirting over comms, and then everyone's like, guys, we can all hear you. Like, imagine, because they're, partners in work and everything, they're at a call, and they're going in together, and for some reason, Buck, like, stumbles, and Eddie's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, just falling for you again. I don't know, I need this early days giddy honeymoon phase for when they first get together and tell everybody about it. Because I feel like after 7 years of building this, like, relationship that they have, to finally realize that after all this time, the reason that nothing has ever felt right has been because they had their person right there in front of them, and just this euphoria they're experiencing after finally finding each other and getting together. And again, honeymoon phase is very, very real. It would be so cute to see them be dumbass, dorky idiots. And like I said, just Buck being flirty and Eddie being like, oh my god. Because he does the playful insults as ways of showing affection, so he'll respond to things by like that and be like, you're an idiot. Please.
Unless you get tired of me.
No, never.
I cannot take another season of you two verbally edging each other. This has to be the season
It's absolutely fucking hysterical that I make money off of my 911 reactions. I make money to watch 911. It's hilarious. So when I was leaving work today, my coworker was like, oh my god, I can't believe you're leaving me. And I said, sorry, I have to watch my gay firefighters. Because watching the gay firefighters is kind of one of my jobs now. Being a content creator is so weird. Jesus Christ, Buckley. What? What did you get up to last night? Why do you ask? Well, because that bruise looks fresh. Well, I think you can guess what I was up to then. Have you been seeing someone? What? Are you seeing someone, or have you reverted back to your Buck 1.0 days? Because if I tell you that I've been seeing someone, is that going to result in more or less questions? Less concern, more questions. I'm not answering any of your questions. You're not? It wasn't a random person I picked up. I'm just not ready to talk about them yet. Okay. Does Maddie know about them? Sort of. And she didn't tell me? Chimney, I'm not ready for the 118 to know, and you're terrible at keeping secrets. I guess that's fair. Could you not have warned me? I forgot. Honestly. You forgot you bit me hard enough to leave a bruise? I thought you would have noticed. I mean, also, it's not the only place, Buck. I hate you. I'll cover you next time we're changing. What's on your mind, Maddie? It's just Buck. He's still crashing with you? Not anymore. But... Wait, he's actually sleeping in Eddie's house? Yeah. After he slept with Tommy. What? Uh-huh. So what are they? They're not back together, are they? No, thankfully not. Oh? Was just what? A lapse in judgment? An attempt at distracting himself. Distracting himself? From what? Eddie being gone. Okay. His words? Yes, actually. He admitted he used Tommy as a distraction? For missing Eddie? He did. Well, that's progress. Uh-oh. What else happened? What happened, Maddie? I guess Tommy told Buck that he was in love with Eddie. What? Well, not in so many words, but he told Buck he viewed Eddie as competition when they were together. Are you for real? Yeah. So how'd Buck react? He got pretty upset. He was upset that Tommy thought he was in love with him? Yeah, and he was upset that Tommy was glad that Eddie left? He was glad Eddie left? Okay, Buck being in love with him or not, that's his best friend. What a dick move. Uh-huh. Yeah, Buck still thinks he should call Tommy to apologize. He doesn't. I mean, he said some mean things too, but I mean... Seriously? Do you think Buck's in love with Eddie? Do you? I could see it. Me too. Did you ask Buck if he was? I tried. Uh-huh. I mean, he denied it. The way he did was definitely interesting, though. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm worried about him. I mean, he could do worse. Yeah, but he also seems to think Eddie is straight. He does. For real? I don't know. Oh, Buck. I'm sure there's plenty of reasons. I think the main reason, though, that people thought that Eddie was older than Buck is because Ryan Guzman is older than Oliver Stark. Which I recently found this out, because Oliver is 33 and Ryan is 37. So, that's probably why. I imagine that, along with the fact that Eddie did the 2 tours, and the fact that he's a dad, that makes, and also the line in his first episode, "You're not his elder, Buck," made people assume that he was older. And I think that overall 911 is operated under the assumption that Buck is younger than Eddie, but they're around the same age. But no one actually knows how old Buck or Eddie are. No one knows how old Eddie is specifically. We know that Buck is around 33, because in season 6, they said he was 30, and in season 1, they said he was 26. So he is probably around the same age as Oliver Stark, because, again, those ages mirror how old Oliver Stark was, and also, kind of add up with the overall timeline in a way. The timeline doesn't make a lot of sense, but, to an extent, it lines up. But they've never actually said how old Eddie is. They haven't said how old almost anyone is, other than Chris and Buck. Yeah. And we know Bobby's in his 50s, which is a fact that's addressed in season 1 and 2, and then pretty much never again. Yeah, so overall, I'm sure there's plenty of reasons why people are like, oh my, are so passionate about Eddie being older than Buck. I don't think it actually matters that much, but I think overall people have assumed for the last, several years that Eddie probably is, because Ryan is older than Oliver, but the show's kind of contradicted that a bit with just saying, dates of, I think it was the year Shannon was born, being after the year Buck was born or something. Which isn't, fully clear when that was either way. And then Shannon and Eddie are supposed to be about the same age. But again, like I said, anything to do with any dates in the show, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Because, it just doesn't make sense. No one knows what's happening. No one knows how much time has passed. No one knows what year it is. No one knows how old anyone is. But, because there isn't an explicit confirmation of whether it's Buck or Eddie who's older, there are people who have opinions on why they think it should be a certain way. I thought the general consensus was that Eddie was older. I don't know where I got that from necessarily. I thought that they were the same age, and Eddie was a little bit older. I don't know why I thought that, but that's kind of what I thought for a while. It was just kind of like the vibe I got, and then, like, you know, finding out again that Ryan is 4 years older, like, made sense. And then, again, consistently in fanfiction, too, that's kind of what they write, is Eddie's a little bit older, at least in some capacity. Whether it's, like, a couple months or a couple years, he's usually older in fanfiction. But it's a similar thing, even with, like, Eddie's sisters, and, like, whether he's the oldest or youngest or middle child. I thought that in the show, it was explicitly confirmed that Eddie was the oldest, and it's not. Granted, we've never even seen his sisters, so as far as we're concerned, they don't even exist, but I legitimately thought that it was explicitly canon that Eddie was the oldest brother of 2 sisters. I thought he was the oldest, which, like, for me, personally, everything that I've seen about Eddie, and whenever I watch the show, it seems like he plays the role of the oldest daughter. Like, he is given the role that oldest daughters are given. Like, similarly to how Dean Winchester gets that role in Supernatural. Like, he feels like a character being written as the oldest daughter, you know, like the one who had to, like, raise their younger siblings, you know what I'm saying? I'm a middle child now because I have a stepbrother who's 2 years younger than me, but growing up, I was the youngest of 3 kids, and the oldest was 10 years older than me. So she watched me when my parents were at work, and she drove me to school for the last, like, 2 years of high school for her. She drove me and my brother to school. Like, he is not a youngest child, in my opinion. Like, given everything that I know about him as a character and everything I know about how he grew up, he's not a youngest child. And we know for sure that he's older than at least one of them, because there is one of the stories, and again, this could be redacted because, like I said, the timeline doesn't make any fucking sense, but, like, there is a story about how he, at 13, tried to drive his mom's car to drive her to the hospital when she was pregnant. But as far as I was concerned this entire time, he was the oldest. And like I said, he's the oldest daughter. And people have even pointed out similarly, and this isn't really on topic, but, like, that Chris, by all intents and purposes, represents, like, a mother and daughter, like, dynamic. You know, their arc right now reminds me of, like, Merida and her mom's arc in Brave. Like, so, yeah. To me, and, you know, Buck is the youngest sibling who was raised by his older sister. So, in their dynamic, it makes sense to me that Eddie is older, even though he might not actually be. Anyway, I don't know if this made any sense, and I think I'm completely off topic, so I'm gonna stop talking now, and I'm gonna go to bed, because it's almost 2 in the morning, and it's been a day. This probably didn't really answer your question, because there really isn't much of an answer to this question. It is different depending on the person. Everyone has different opinions, and because the timeline doesn't make any sense, my iPad fell, and so did the, Apple Pencil. Because there is no clear, concise timeline in the show, and no one knows, has any confirmation for how old anyone is, or what year it is, or when anyone's birthdays are, people just form opinions based on vibes. And especially in this fandom, I find people can't seem to accept that because there's no canon for this, you cannot be right or wrong here, and your opinion is not more correct here. That's a common thing I find in this fandom. So people have headcanons, and then people are like, no, it doesn't match my headcanon, or my headcanon directly contradicts yours, so you're incorrect. And I know I talked in this video saying, like, oh, specifically for me, I want to clarify, like, I think that Eddie is older than Buck, and I think that Eddie is an oldest sibling, is, like, the older sibling, and he has 2 younger siblings. This is not explicitly canon, so I could be wrong, and if you have a differing opinion, that's totally fine. This is how I view the situation, but again, there's no canon, so it doesn't actually, like, matter, because if they haven't cared enough to make it canon, it's actually just not that important. These are just the vibes that I get based on my personal experience. It's like, the whole, like, who is older is also, like, kind of goes hand in hand with the whole top and bottom discourse with Buck and Eddie, which don't even get me started on. It, like, just have fun. Stop arguing with people over things that aren't canon, and probably never will be. Just go with the vibes, and if people don't agree, oh well, it's fine. I need to sleep. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like, why do you think he would think that? I don't know, Buck. Like, real Eddie, competition? He's straight. How is he competition? Buck, I'm not Tommy. Ask him. I just don't get it. Like, why does everybody want me to be hopelessly pining for my straight best friend? Who's everybody? I mean, Maddie asked if I was in love with him. Are you? That's exactly what she said. Okay. Are you in love with Eddie, Buck? He's literally straight, Robbie. Okay, and what if he wasn't? What do you mean? What if Eddie wasn't straight, Buck? What would your answer be then? Oh, he is. That wasn't the question. See, maybe that's why he viewed Eddie as competition. You just keep saying why you can't be with Eddie, not whether or not you have feelings for him. Those are different things. Okay, Eddie doesn't like men, so it's never gonna happen. Okay, Buck, being in love with someone doesn't automatically mean that they love you back. Yeah, I know that. So, what? What if Eddie wasn't straight? What would you have told Tommy if he was queer? Look, Buck, I've known you for 4 years. I've known you and Eddie for 4 years. And the entire time we were hanging out, all you could do was talk about Eddie. I don't blame Tommy for wondering. And it's the fact that you won't deny that you have feelings for him, and the only time you seem to is after listing off reasons why a relationship with him wouldn't work, is kind of suspicious. So what if he wasn't straight, Buck? What then? Look, I don't even want to think about the leaks for 911 yesterday. We're not going to find out what it is, so I'm just going to try not to dread about what it could possibly mean. So instead, I just want to present you with the idea of Buddy First Kiss, but like the Harley First Kiss in the Harley Quinn show. You know, how they, like, narrowly escaped death, and then just in this emotionally charged moment kissed, and then we're like, wait a fucking minute. Especially Buck as Harley, just like, I'm Buck. I'm crazy and impulsive, and I kiss people for no reason. And just like repeatedly bringing it up throughout the episode, and everyone's like, okay. I don't know, man. Everyone's like, oh, what do you want your first kiss, the Buddy First Kiss to be like? And people always like point back to straight first kisses in these live action shows. And I get why, because of course we don't have a lot of, you know, queer first kisses to pull from, but the queer first kisses in, like, TV shows, especially in animated ones, are fucking incredible. Like I've said, the Catradora kiss for them, I could totally see it. Don't you get it? I love you, I always have, so please just this one stay. But I feel like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy's first kiss in the show also would make total sense of just like, what? Wait, it didn't mean anything. And like I said, I could just see Buck going around like, I kiss people for no reason! And then just like, again, like the 118, just like with Harley's crew, where they're like, what is up with the kissing thing? Because it's like almost similar to when Chandler kissed Monica in front of the rest of his friends and then went and kissed everyone, because he was like, what the fuck do I do? But it's just more like crazy chaotic, like when it was Harley and she just went around kissing people and just yelling about how she kisses people for no reason. So it'd be like a kind of a mix of those two things. Yes, feel free to use this for a fanfic idea if you guys want. And if you haven't watched Harley Quinn yet, go do that. It's incredible.